Hey, Trey.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. All right, everybody. Thanks for showing up for Literacy to Liberty. We have our introductory lecture series here tonight. I'm Rachel Sunshine, the founder and author of How Medical Tyranny Murdered the U.S. Constitution, a legal analysis on the history of how the government actually installed a medical tyranny. So tonight we have Tre Vietnam. All right, he's going to be talking to us about his own personal views on liberty. He is a gun rights activist and a warrior father of 4. So he's got his own YouTube channel, RPM. You should check him out. He does on-the-street discussions with the public about gun ownership, protection, the legitimacy of government, crime. He does open carry demonstrations and other social issues. He is an ordained minister and follows the religion of voluntarism. So Tre would be interested in the revolution and sincerely feels that involuntary force and control derails our path in life so much that it should become an urgent focal point for everybody right now. So please welcome Tre. He's going to be talking to us about a myriad of things, and I'm really excited to have you. Thanks, Tre.
Yeah, no problem. I enjoy doing stuff like this, and I think just like with anybody else's religious convictions, I think what I have to say should take center stage at some point. When it comes to asking yourself, like I ask myself over and over again, if my own mother gave me life, had to let go and relinquish her control over me, even if it meant going out into the world and destroying myself. So who the hell else can tell me what to do when I'm not hurting anybody? Mm-hmm. It's a disturbing question. It nags if I just can't let it go.
Sure, for sure.
So what I would really like for people to focus on is that sentiment, of course, but then also to focus on who we really are as people. We get lost in a whirlwind of emotional pool and from everything from legalization of marijuana to the jab. Everybody wants you to get the jab nowadays, and you know, with the oil shortage, man, just everything, gun ownership, public shootings, all of this stuff should be urgent business, and I think it should take center stage above and beyond any sports, any reality TV. All of that stuff is like, you know, that should come later when everything is fine. But right now, the world is on fire. And I really think that we owe it to ourselves to pay very close attention and diligence and to be the strong kid that we pretend to be when we tell another man on the streets that we're not going to be his bitch, his pushover. We should say that sentiment has arrived for everyone, you know. So I think we need to get a good grip on that, because I think we're losing something valuable. And I think this country will be unrecognizable in 50 years if we continue to be complacent about the in-your-face, blatant disrespect to the idea of freedom that we go through this country. While they call it freedom, I think it's ridiculous.
Hey, Tre, it's really windy there, and it's kind of hard to hear you.
Is okay. Yeah. I would rather. Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay. I think there is another place that I could go that would chop the wind down. So if it continues, let me know, and I'll find another place.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But yeah, so you know, like you were saying, Rachel, I'm a ordained minister. I was ordained April 20th of last year. 7 voluntarians that really take the idea of voluntarism to a whole nother level. Not just an ideal that we want to hold and spread, but to really attach it to who we are as people while we're alive here on earth. And, you know, like you said in the intro, the way our natural lives are being derailed is literally hiding who we really are from ourselves, and not just who I am as a Black man, or who you are, or who we all are. It's beyond all of that. I'm talking about on a naked, we all human beings. Where's my soul? Why am I here? What am I doing? We can't even legitimately go after those questions. Unfettered path because of what government is doing to us. They are really wrecking this shit. And I think people are pacified by a lot of stuff, and we shouldn't be. We got to pay attention, because they are, frankly, they are fucking this up for us. The one swing we get at this, they're fucking it up. And people should be offended. They should be damn offended, man. Like, and it's okay to be offended. Everyone is offended by everything else. When I say my soul is being sucker punched at every turn, when I turn my back, here comes another blindsided punch, because they go COVID plus whatever other bullshit they want to sprinkle onto this shit salad, and I'm tired of it. There's always something. They always got some shit going on. Like with the oil thing, that bugs me, you know. The oil thing, for example, if you just look at some of the details and what's actually happening while this goes on. The gas prices went up, so somebody has to foot the bill for the crisis. Apparently, it's not going to be the multi-billion-dollar oil companies. They said, hell no, we're not going to pay for this. You guys are. And I think that is a telltale sign that something is wrong, because in the midst of a crisis where they could bear the weight of holding that burden for some shit that they got into, that's between them and the hacker. What the hell did I have to do with it? You know, but here we are footing the bill. In the meantime, if the gas prices are going up, not only are they receiving, you know, all of the financial endeavors that comes along with owning such a critical piece of the human experience in today's world with the oil, that's not enough for them. They also want some profits, some big profits. That's why the prices are going up.
I was going to ask you, what's that about?
So here, I got to walk up here. I'm actually doing a podcast right now.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry.
No. I'm out here so that this can become part of, you know, the program. So what I'm doing is that I want to remind people that protecting themselves is a natural right first. Yeah. The Constitution highlighted that to remind them of that natural right that is not to be infringed, is inalienable, and cannot be changed. And I want people to realize that. And above and beyond all of that, the natural responsibility that you have to protect yourself should be embraced by every good person, so that the bad guys are always wondering if this is the person that they're going to pick on that's going to put them in the fucking dirt. They should be scared. They should feel like that all the time.
100.
Hell yeah.
Always scared you.
Hell yeah, that's good. That's
I
good.
also want to know what kind of AR you have. I just got one.
Yeah, it's an MP5.
Yeah.
MP15. I'm sorry, MP15 Sport, and it's dope. I like it. Reliable, easy to clean, easy to use. How you doing?
All right.
Yeah.
Just going around taking pictures. You look like someone that...
You might want to take my picture. I get that sometimes. This guy just wanted to know, what's your name, man?
Jamie.
Jamie, and what was your name?
Ayana.
Okay, cool.
What's your name?
What are you doing?
My name is Trey.
Nice to meet you, Trey.
Yeah, you too. So I do open carry demonstrations like this. This is like number like 31 or 32 or something like that. Yeah. And I just want to remind people that this is legal and natural, and there's natural responsibility to protect yourself as well. You know, like if some guy cornered her and thought that he was going to take advantage of her, she can cry for her dad if she wants, but it kind of looks like she's in the middle of her own fight. She has to be the one to do something. She can tell her dad about how she had to put this guy down later. She can tell him the story later. In the midst of that, it's up to her. You know what I'm saying? And even the cops, they don't have a legal responsibility or a moral responsibility to die for you. They don't have to stand in the way of that danger. They just don't have to. They might want to. They might pretend to. They're always late. And none of that should be accepted when you talk about the only life that you have. You can't play around with that. So that's what I'm out here to show people. Yeah.
From Cedar,
yeah.
What we got here?
Go Trey.
This is Rachel. And this is Rachel. And,
hi, I'm
she is
Sunshine. I run the nonprofit Literacy to Liberty. And so I've got Tre on here as a guest speaker. Thanks for being on.
She said, thanks you guys for being on. She runs the Literacy for Liberty, and you should check that out on Facebook. It goes into depth about all walks of life coming together to speak their mind about how free they wish we were in a country that claims to be free. So check that out. You'll be surprised at the stuff that you find there. Some good stuff, a lot of good people.
I want to have Cedar.
Yes.
Another one.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I love that what you're doing.
Thank you.
I also love that you were showing my friends and my family who are part of the Black community that they can do this too.
Yeah.
They can carry because they're so against guns. So they don't feel safe doing it.
Yeah.
But everyone should feel safe to be able to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another reason why I'm out
100%
there.
very.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Thank you.
That's what's up.
Hopefully one day we'll get them to get a gun.
Yeah.
Take them shooting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head out.
All right. Thank you.
You care if I get your picture?
Oh, not at all, man. Yeah, yeah. This guy's gonna take my picture here.
Yeah. Can I get you under this thing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How's that wind, Rachel? Is it brutal? Thank you. So what are you gonna do with these pictures?
I'm just an amateur photographer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But
We lost him. He'll be back on in a second, I'm sure. That happens. It's okay. It happens. You know, I actually had my drop like a couple weeks ago. Yes, he is. Yeah, he's super well spoken. I've been friends with Tre for years, you know, so he's been a gun rights advocate that I've always loved supporting because he has always been really well spoken, and he's out there doing it, you know. So I give him mad props. I got tears in my eyes. I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, he's been around for years, so he's a good guy. He definitely has that warrior spirit. So he's getting back on here. Hang on. All right.
Hey, thank you. And we're back. Hey. We're
back. All right, I'm gonna put you back on.
Okay.
Dude, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I get that a lot. You know, what I really like is to get hugs out here from people because it's just good to have people come up to me, ask me what it is that I'm doing, and then decide to hug me. You know, to even walk up to me is proof that people aren't scared, not as scared as what the media says, and a lot of people do understand. And for every person that hugs me out here, that shows every cop that if they ever have to approach me, that they can approach me to hug me and not approach me to throw me down onto the ground or to initiate a firefight. They know. I got video record. Like, that's not necessary to approach me. It's just not necessary to approach me. And if they ever did, or if anything ever went wrong, how they gonna explain themselves in court when, you know, a pregnant woman and her kids and her husband walk up to me to hug me, but the cop chose to initiate, you know, a dramatic interaction? It's like, how's he ever going to explain that shit?
Yeah, absolutely. And as we know, you know, like 2.58 people are killed a day by police across the country, you know, for doing less, significantly less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like rubbing it all in their faces. You know, anytime a cop, even cops that aren't involved in those things throughout their career, when they defend a police officer in a questionable shooting, every cop, for the most part, especially in the face of I don't know what he says to his wife when he goes home, but in the public, they tend to just defend cops no matter what. Every cop will just defend the actions of another cop no matter what. And I love it when they defend that, but then they see me and realize that they can't just treat me the way they treated Trayvon Martin. They can't treat me the way they treated Philando Castile. You know, they're just not going to be able to do those things. So it's like, as soon as you walk past me or you ride past me as a police officer and you wave at me or you know who I am because I'm always out here, what they're proving is that the sight of a man, black or white, with a loaded firearm like this and a bulletproof carrier and my bulletproof mask when I have it, I can come out here like that and
woo
still, yeah, woo bang, man. You know, I come out here like that and they still have to ride past me like this. How do you ever get so aggressive with people who are out here in less than this? How do you still find a way to get, they're just exposing themselves. I mean, it would almost kind of make sense if they treated me with some aggression, but they don't. So either they're walking in a glaring contradiction in what warrants that level of fear, or they're telling us that if we were all armed like this, then they would leave us alone. Maybe that's the key. Everybody should be armed so that they feel like I can't just bully everybody when everybody's armed like this all the time, because I'm going to find that guy who doesn't give a damn. You know, that guy who knows his rights. You know, that guy who realizes that the emperor has no clothes. I don't want people to feel like my opposition to law enforcement means that I don't appreciate, respect, or see the desire in people in society being protected when they cannot or will not protect themselves. I think public security is righteous. I think we need that. But to assume that the people that take this position can and should be given qualified immunity, this blanket appearance of always being honest, all of that shit has to go away. We got to realize that these people are people. They are not gods. They are not impervious to being racist, prejudiced, greedy, sexual deviants. They're not impervious to bullets either. And we see that sometimes when they cross people's paths who do not give a fuck. All they see is a man or woman who is armed, initiating a conflict, and they initiate this conflict with the confidence that win or lose, they're going to be praised. That is dangerous. We cannot tell ordinary people that they cannot tell their own children what to do for their entire lives. They have to let them children go, even if it means going out into the world and wrecking their lives. And if they got to let their own children go, they have to fucking let me go. If there is no victim, there is no crime. They have to leave me alone. You got to leave your own kids alone. Like, why is this so hard for everyone to understand? You know, I think part of the reason why it's hard for people to understand is because there's this illusion here. There's a book I was recommended that was recommended to me that's called what is it called? Damn, I can't remember it. But it's something like the Devil's whatever the book is, it's all about Lucifer's something, but it's all about the automatic submissive aura that pours over anybody, guilty of something or not, when they see a police officer, when they see a police car, when you see a cop car get behind you, even when you're doing nothing wrong, all of a sudden you start asking yourself, am I weaving in and out of my lane at all? I hope my blinkers work. Was I just speeding? How long was this asshole behind me? Like, you start feeling these things, man. And I think that when a uniform and a badge imposes this level of discomfort on people, I think that should be more of an alarm to people than seeing me out here with an AR-15. Because when I see a police officer, what I know is I'm looking at a man or a woman who could spark a conflict for any reason at all, They're going to be favored not only by cops, but by the rest of society. And they could literally kill me and get away with it. That is a strange feeling to me. And I think that people sacrifice the freedom that comes along with taking your own responsibility into your hands and protecting yourself. I think people say to hell with that. I want someone else to do it. And if the cops do a little bad, but they're good, then we're fine. But to me, I think the bad that they do completely cancels all of the good that they do, considering that every man and woman of able body should feel the responsibility to protect themselves and people in their zone of influence. It's not special to them. They weren't granted this shit by God. I don't care what their paperwork says, where they think they got this shit from. We were all born into the world screaming, naked, covered in somebody else's blood. And then we grew up and we had snotty noses and couldn't tie our shoes. And then we grew up a little bit more. And we thought we knew every fucking thing and we didn't know shit. And then we grew up and had kids and realized that you got to choose between, selfishness or sacrifice. We all go through all of this stuff. At no point, I can't see where the God transformation came from to put these people above me for any reason. If they want to protect society, fine. But as soon as there is no victim, then there is no crime. And everything they do outside of that is a soul damaging act of submission on our part and of dominance on their part. And we should not be okay with this shit. No?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I completely agree.
Yeah, I think, I think it kind of goes hand in hand with a multitude of other things that, the government provides as services. And I think all of it together, the school system, the way they do the school system, um, the laws that are in place to keep corporate entities in check, the blending of natural man and uh, um, corporations in legal terms, how they blur the line between what's a corporation and what's a person and what's all of this shit. Like they create an atmosphere to lose the average man who isn't paying attention. And it's easy to do. I mean, like, how many laws are on the books? You don't even need you. A lot of people don't know what the number is. I don't know what the exact number is. I damn sure don't know what all of them are. But it's a web of deception that they can pick and choose at any given time from state to state, because each state is different. That they can wrap me up in some shit. Like, how many people are like walking felons right now? I have no idea. How many people are doing things in their state that will be considered a felony in another state, but because of this imaginary border and the rules that they set in this particular framework, now you're okay. But in another state, we will take your fucking kids. And it's like, God damn, y'all are insane to do this. And
So
we are damn insane to ignore it.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, everything that you discuss goes under this umbrella of the fact that they have considered themselves gods. And I think part of the reason why they think this way is because they have developed and fine-tuned such a system that distracts us from our divinity, so they know. They're like, well, I know that we can be divine, but y'all don't, and so that's kind of where I see it right now, and everything that you just explained essentially is all of the different processes that they use to keep us at this lower frequency, so we don't actually say, oh my gosh, Trey, like, you're totally divine, dude, that's awesome. And then you're like, you're totally divine. And could you imagine what humanity would be like if we all came together and was like, no, you have that spark in you, you have it, it's there, and we all came together and realized that, and the potential of humanity if we actually got there.
It's a psychological twitch that they kind of put us in by stifling that natural divinity in us. And it's an amazing thing what they've done. I'm kind of impressed, actually. It's an impressive thing.
I mean, I give them mad props. I mean, anytime, if you've ever listened to some of my stuff on here, I'm always like, wow, mad props to you guys. Who are we talking about? Okay, we're talking about the Committee of 300, aka the Illuminati, aka they call themselves the Olympians. That's who we are talking about here, this hierarchical group, okay, who's used government forever, you know, to put the rest of us down, to be their debt slaves, to be their cattle, you know, and they keep throwing all of this entertainment at us, right, to distract us from questioning what we're supposed to be here for, which is to create a common divinity, a common purpose, to protect one another.
Yeah, and that's definitely what we should be doing. And protection is something that, you know, they say that it's supposed to be so much common sense that we need law enforcement. Well, I think that if we threw out law enforcement in the state that it is right now, the common sense that people assume that we should all have, that way you can't just do that, we need them. It's like, well, it's going to be the common sense to replace that with something that better suits our needs. We're not saying get rid of the cops or defund the police in that way. Like, I'm saying make them stick to the Bill of Rights at the very least. Like, that's the least you can do, is ask them to fucking play by the rules.
Well, hold on. Okay, so the Constitution is somewhat like the Bible insofar as it has contradictory terms. Okay, so under the state powers, they've given just blanket, just abstract police powers to the state. So the existence of police by law, by the Constitution, it's actually a state power to enforce their laws. They're not here to protect us at all. That's why the Supreme Court is ruled that way, because according to the Constitution, it is a state power to enforce their laws and have control within their territory. Like, specifically, that is the direct definition of it. So what we would need to do is define police powers for the people. So I found this pretty interesting. Okay, I have a girlfriend here in town. She says something along the lines of, we don't want a sheriff who's gonna arrest people for exercising their natural rights. What we want is a sheriff who's going to arrest people in power and authority who are abusing it, and it's treason against us. So again, powers of the police, whether it's for the state and corporations, because that's what I notice police powers are for now. You know what I'm saying? It's insane. I don't know if you heard about this story a couple years ago from Aurora, Colorado. Okay, so like, I lived across the street from this Walmart, right? The super Walmart that always has police presence. I lived right across the street from it. I had to get away, okay? This guy stole 2 t-shirts and a belt from Walmart. He obviously was in desperate need for it to actually do that, okay? The police literally tracked him down, went into another jurisdiction, another town, got permission from that town and included, okay, so they came together and partnered, right? This guy had a gun, and so he ran into the house, this random house, and hid, okay, and he hid in the bathroom, and the police took the next 24 hours to completely demolish the house. Like, seriously, they essentially demolished the house to get this guy out for 2 t-shirts and a belt. Like, I swear to you, okay? And so the owner of the house was like, what the hell, dude? That was a $450,000 house you just demolished in the name of, you know, yeah. And so the judge ruled in favor of the police officers and said that in the line of duty, they have the right to demolish a whole house for 2 t-shirts and a belt because you stole it from Walmart, okay? You didn't steal it from the corner store down the road, you know what I'm saying? So Walmart is so big that a judge will rule in favor of demolishing an entire house for them for 2 t-shirts and a belt, you know? And so this is, you know, you're talking about the Bill of Rights. Don't get me wrong, you know, I like the Bill of Rights, but as we've discussed before in the past, you know, it's they are amendments to the Constitution. So the Constitution is the founding document, okay? And they couldn't get it passed. Okay, they couldn't get it ratified by the states. And so they said, well, fine. Okay, we'll tack on some rights for you guys to make it not feel so bad that you're giving this centralized government so much control over you after just going through a revolutionary war. Okay. And so that's what the Bill of Rights was. And this is what they've actually been doing to us the entire time in this country is, you know, ooh, a piece of candy, you know? So it's like, yeah, it's like James Woods from South or from Family Guy. Ooh, a piece of candy, you know? Yeah. Oh, now you can vote, you know? Oh, you can go to the same schools together, you know? This is what they've been doing. It's a little piece of candy here and there. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I was duped. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm out here talking, because I actually know I spent my whole life like learning the Constitution, you know, and learning case law, only to realize like, holy shit, all of this is completely fake. It's fake. It's as fake as can be. It's just, it's literally like theater. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. And they make it look like they're giving you more freedom when in fact, you're the one that gave your freedom up to them. You specifically, you and I delegated our natural rights, our power, okay, to this conglomerate, a third party in a contract known as the Constitution. Okay, so that delegated party's like, oh, we're going to give you more freedom. But in all actuality, you wouldn't exist without us, motherfuckers. Like, let's be real. Okay, so the Constitution, this is why I say that the Constitution needs to be voided, because in my opinion, okay, and with all the research I've done, and people can go look into this, a Constitution, this particular document, is not just used in America. We're actually using it right now to nation build all over the world, okay? But that's not it. All over the world, nearly every single country has a constitution. North Korea has a constitution. Okay, yes. So this is the most leftist, most controlling document that we have in all of humanity. All right. So if we are going to come together and discuss power amongst ourselves, I totally do believe it has to be in a voluntary manner. We have to get rid of government. And this is what I think, because once we get rid of government, we have the ability, we've manifested all of our abundance in right now. So all of our future abundance has been manifested through debt. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So they've created shuttles and technology, military equipment. They have hundreds of millions of acres that's actually been purchased off of our back and the future of our children and everything that they accomplish, and so on and so forth through our progeny, up to $26 trillion. Okay, but they didn't, we don't have 100 years, you know, of creating that stuff. It's all been created right now. So that's one thing that I can thank them for, is that they've actually created humanity's future abundance right now. So I'm saying if we were to get rid of government, we would all actually be able to thrive. Beyond having control, we would actually all be able to thrive. And then we could all actually come together and talk about how we can use our divinity to help humanity. And so this is what I call the period of rapid enlightenment. Yeah. Okay? Because if we were to all come together at once and be like, holy shit, we got rid of these motherfuckers, what else can we do together?
Yeah,
what else can we do together?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've got a comment. We could thrive so much easier without only property taxes. Imagine if everybody owned their own acreage and no property. I mean, we just don't need taxes. It's not necessary, you know, because they're using it. Here's the thing. So this group of people, the Committee of 300, right? So they sit at the top And they're basically playing Risk with us. Okay, so they're nation building. We are not special. America's not special. That's just how they make, okay, so our money is fiat. So how do you make people believe that a money is worth something if it's fiat? You have to build up a nation, right? So they're gonna build us up, and then when we're done, when they can't take any more from us, they're gonna cut us off, and they're gonna go right to the next nation that they've been preparing to take our place. And I do believe that they've been doing this for thousands of years. Thousands of years.
Who do you think is up next?
Who do I think is up next? That's a great question. I honestly don't know. I haven't really considered that. I got to be honest with you. I would say that it's China, but I feel like that's wrong, you know?
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I do. And here's the reason why. I'm a conspiracy theorist. Okay. So based off of watching my surroundings and what happened in December, January, I would have to say that we actually went through a silent military coup. So, like, while everybody believes that China is the one who's in charge of all of this, I actually believe that this is a military thing. I think that we had a military coup in this country, and I do believe that the military is fully 100% in charge of what's going on here in the United States right now.
Really?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Now, whether they have a partner, I really don't know. I would imagine that that's not the case. We have to keep in mind, and I'm surely to get assassinated within the next 5 days because of talking about this. I never talk about it, but there are very old generals who have been in charge of the military for decades, and it would not be surprising to me whatsoever, because most of the things that we enjoy now for our entertainment were actually created by the military industrial complex. Okay, so this is not something that I believe is that far-fetched. I'm ahead of the curve a lot of the times when it comes to these theories that then prove to be correct. So which is unfortunate, you know, because nobody wants to listen to me really. But if you notice that, you know, paid actors on January 6th, which is why I had to write my book, you know, because I was like, this is crazy to watch this theater unfold and to just not speak out about it at all. Yeah. Okay, so that's where I was at, and I had to write the book, but they did that all so that they could put the fences up, you know, and those fences haven't been taken down. And that, now I know like 10,000 years of like human history at the drop of a hat in my head. My degrees are in political science and religious studies, which is basically just the history of humanity. So from most powerful standpoints. So that's basically, we just lost him. But that's basically, yeah, you know, so based off of what I know, I would have to say that this has been a military coup that we are living through, which is why everybody is actually in a shelter in place, because that's what they do when they take over. So hopefully he comes back, but yeah. All right. Well, I don't know. Hopefully he comes back for any more questions. I don't know. So I've lost myself like 5-6 times during meetings. So there he is. Yeah. Hold on.
Okay, I think we're back.
Yeah, you're back. So yeah, that's, you know, that's kind of where I am, is I've learned all of that history, and I can tell you that this looks exactly, you know, they have people shelter in place when there's a transition of power. Okay. Yeah. And I don't know if you know this, but the United States LLC, actually, that was Donald Trump's specialty, is bankruptcies. And in October of last year, the LLC filed for bankruptcy.
Whoa.
Okay.
Not a coincidence.
Yeah. So this is where we're at. I think you're 100% correct that yes, people need to stop being distracted. It's so difficult to keep a finger, like tabs on all of this. Where would you find evidence for that bankruptcy? I don't know. That's a great question. This has been discussed since October. So I'm sure that you can just Google United States of America LLC bankruptcy and the paperwork will show right up. So, this has been discussed by multiple people. This is not, so this is not just me throwing something out. So so everything that you discussed, I think it's really important that people take that to heart. You got to have that warrior heart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the same diligence that you will find in an 18-year-old kid that enlists in the army, willing to die in a foreign country. He's ready to fight for what he thinks is right. They might not even recover his body. He's got to know that that's possible. And he goes with a care in his heart, but to feel like the sacrifice would be worth it. I think the same diligence, you should be able to find that in every man. And every man should be seeking for something righteous to die for. I did a podcast last night, and the guy asked me if I was worried that I could spread my message so far and wide that I become a threat and that I will be attacked or killed for it. And I told him that I've accepted death a long time ago. I'm going to die anyway. No one makes it out of this damn thing alive. I don't give a shit. What I don't want is to die in a car accident. I don't want to die from an illness. I don't want to drown. I don't want to die in a house fire. If I'm going to die, I would much rather it be about something like this, with me spreading my voice far and wide, being seen as a threat, and being killed. That doesn't even fucking bug me at all. What will bug me is to walk across the street and get hit by a car and die. Like, damn, that's a way.
Little accident murderers.
Yeah, I know, right? So now I'm going to be listening for revving engines when I cross the street now.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm paranoid, but I don't care at this point, because it's right. It's like what you said. It's like, man, I say it all the time. Either you're going to die fighting tyranny or you're going to die underneath it. What is it going to be? What's it going to be? Yeah. This is what you got to do, And I don't know if you know TJ McGee.
Sounds real familiar.
Okay, he's in Detroit, and he and I discussed starting missionary work for the revolution. So that's what the revolution is. I don't know if you've seen me mention that, but that's what the revolution is. Literally everything that you just talked about: voluntarism, on a mission, going out, telling people we have the divine natural right to find out who we are without government intervention. Absolutely. Yeah, that's what the revolution's all about. So
that's a damn good idea, and it seems to work for for other people,
Yeah, well, it turns out that there's actually a lot of people like us, and as we get the numbers to continue to grow, we can actually become an official religion. Okay, so that's what TJ and I are working on. TJ's the preacher who gets banned every other day. So, he comes out and he says the real shit, and then, he's gone for 30 days. But he says, he says the real shit, like what you just said, and I say the same shit because it's real, and we are all getting that message from somebody. We are getting it from somewhere. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I caught a 30-day ban for saying that, death is inevitable. Why not die fighting a tyrannical government? And I got 30 days for that. Somebody said that I was trying to incite violence. I was like, why the fuck am I inciting violence by stating a few facts? There's a few facts. Man. That's all I said.
well, let's just be realistic. Facebook has their own definition of incitement. Okay, so incitement means imminent violence, you know, but Facebook is just whatever they feel like. So I'm on a 3-day ban right now on Made in Anarchy for saying that the Fauci ouchies should include a guillotine. So that's where I was at. I was like, yeah, you know, so I put a picture of a guillotine and I was like, you know, this is what the Fauci ouchie needs to be, but that didn't work out very well. And then commenter, I got a ban for stating the punishment for USC Title 18, Section 242. So again, that's USC Title 18, Section 242, which I'm sure is lying to Congress. Is that lying to Congress? No? Ooh, I'm gonna look this up. Let's see if I get a Facebook ban or a YouTube ban for this, because that would be terrible. Let's see. Makes it a crime for a person acting under color of any law to willfully deprive a person of a right or privilege protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States. Yes, yeah. The color of law. Yeah. I'm actually helping a guy fight that right now, because I talked to him about how the county doesn't actually have legal jurisdiction in Colorado, and how that may be the case for many states across the country, as there is a delegation clause that requires the General Assembly to explicitly put delegated powers into the Constitution. And they do not do that for counties here in Colorado. They do it for states, or not for states, for towns. And the town has explicit powers that are listed in the Constitution, which comes after the delegation to counties. So it's very clear that they knew that they were not following proper procedure. And this could be happening all over the country. So that's how, you know, these counties are getting unilateral control over everybody. That's how these sheriffs and these laws are being passed, even though they technically are not lawful. So, yeah. All right. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, Trey. This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. We've been Facebook friends for a long time. I've always admired you for so many things, and to do this for you was nothing. It was a done deal. As soon as you mentioned it to me, I was like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, I've
always
admired you, you know, for your warrior spirit. I guess that would be my last question to you. You know, I think that this is something that maybe I've had difficulty with communicating to other people, you know. Well, how do you get your warrior spirit? You know, what do you do?
I think a lot of it is I'm the oldest of 4 kids, so I was the big brother, and you know, I grew up without a father, and sometimes people turn that kind of an upbringing that I come from, they turn into a lot of negative stuff. I had to avoid gangs as a kid. I had that little bit of a street mentality, but I was always reserved. Even with you know, growing up and in school and stuff, I always wanted to reserve any trouble that I was going to get into for defending one of my siblings. So growing up with this kind of a street mentality, wanting to be the savior for anybody that I can be a savior to, and wanting to reserve any trouble or a loss of my life for something like this, it just seems to fit me so well. So when I bumped heads with the legal system and realized how much of a front, a fraud, a facade, all of this shit really was, when I was in the midst of a custody battle and I asked my lawyer, was my son's birth certificate a contract that gave them rights over my child, which brings me to begging them when I can see my kid? How the fuck did that happen? And when I did that, my lawyer quietly passed my case to someone else because I asked about that birth certificate. And I went, oh my God, what happened? And after that, I was like, I'm never looking back. There's something wrong. And in the midst of all of that, man, I said, there's something wrong and I'm never going to back down either.
Yeah.
So I think people should, the way I see life is it's about a balance. Like you should balance your diet. I think you should balance your attitude. And I love everybody. I see my kids in everybody. The way I feel about them, somebody feels like that about you. Why the fuck would I just hurt you, bro? I would never just do that. I know what that fucks with, because I see it every day in my kids. I'm not going to be the one to fuck with that shit. But on the flip side of that, if I encounter people who don't care about all of this lovey-dovey shit that's in my heart, then I'll flip the switch and then I go fucking berserk, ape shit crazy to defend that shit, because I was just trying to be as sweet as I could be. Like, so now you have to love me or fuck you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's totally me. Yeah. No, maybe that's why we admire one another.
Yeah,
You know, because
yeah,
we know that this is the path, right?
yeah,
This is the way.
yeah. This is the way.
This
Yeah,
is the way.
yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I commend you and I appreciate you so much. And I've always, loved watching you. And I've told everybody on here that you're a really good man. And I'm really proud of you for getting out there and speaking out, man. Because,
Thank you.
man, I felt fucking alone. I gotta tell you.
I know, right?
You know.
And I still feel alone. Like I come out here and people offer to want to come out, and either people don't show up or I go, or I tell them, nah, let me do this because I might be kind of crazy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you don't want to stand next to me. I don't think you believe the way I believe. So don't come out here because
Oh shit. That's why I'm here online. Okay, because like I went and spoke and I did a couple public speaking things, right? But in front of people, like you can feel the energy just drop when you talk about this sometimes, because like people, they know that something's wrong. A lot of people know that something's wrong, but like they're comfortable or they're afraid, or like they're worried about what other people will think about them, because they see people, doing their shit to me or doing their shit to you. Like, how dare you stand up? And it's like, man, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Like sometimes I gotta be like, man, I need a break, the onslaught. It's because it's constant. It's a spiritual battle that we're experiencing.
Yeah.
So you have that good and that bad wants to keep clawing at you until you're exhausted. That's the goal, and if you're not exhausted, then at least just be entertained a little bit.
Yeah
Just a little bit. So yeah, I hope that people realize that they can have that awakening and they don't have to feel like they're so alone these days, and that's kind of what the revolution was about like, man, like we need to do face-to-faces here. We need to feel each other's energy, like that's real. It's real, and one of the things that they've done is keep us separated here so that we no longer feel that with one another, because that is like, it's strong. It's, I think about that. I think about people's energy connecting. It's so strong. It's like the planet in Avatar, where everything's connected. Okay. And that energy is there. And that's what creates our life, is that connection. That's how we are going to thrive, is if we connect, that's what's stopping.
That's what we need.
All right, well, thanks so much. I hope you have a good rest of your night. I'm gonna get this up on YouTube and I'll let you know when it's up.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Have a good night.
You too.